Ladies and gentlemen, they say that being a Tottenham fan can increase your heart rate on a daily basis. They say being a Tottenham fan can make you lose your hair. They say being a Tottenham fan is the most stressful thing in the world. But not today, not on Saturday the 19th of October. Tottenham 4, West Ham 1 in their cup final. What a performance, particularly in the second half from Ange Postecoglou's men, making it look easy. West Ham, absolutely awful, completely collapsed in that second half. But they had us in the first half, I'm not going to lie. It was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions in that first half. Tottenham doing what Tottenham do so well, and is putting the pressure on themselves and putting the stress on themselves. Going 1-0 down, we were really struggling to deal with the pace and the quality of Mohamed Kudus and Jared Bowen in the first half. They were turning Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie so easily in that first half, and they were creating chances. Kudus fired a warning shot at Tottenham pretty early on in the game. We didn't learn from it, and then he ended up scoring to make it 1-0. He did his celebration, his iconic celebration. He went over to the ball boy, he moved him, and he sat like this. And he sat and he did his celebration, and that is where he will be sitting for the next 3 games, because he was sent off for being an absolute idiot mind, punching Mickey van der Ven in the face, knocking Richarlison and then swiping at Pat Matasar as well, kicking out at Van der Ven 3 times while he was on the ground. Absolutely pathetic behaviour from him. He's a really good player, and I really like him as a player, but he completely lost his head in that game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. But as a Tottenham fan, you love to see it. You really love to see that they've been rattled so much, 4-1 down, that he completely loses his head and now will miss the next 3 games, at least for West Ham. It could be more for violent conduct, and it was just a silly thing to do. But back to the game. Look, in the first half, it wasn't brilliant. Tottenham had a few half chances. It didn't really look like they were flowing perhaps as well as they could. However, we went 1-0 down and we responded, and that's the most important thing, I think. Going behind, it was always imperative that we make sure that we get back in that game before half-time, and we did it really well, getting the goal. James Maddison feeding it in to the box, and then Dejan Kulusevski cutting in on his left foot and smashing it off both posts and into the back of the net. It makes it 1-1, and then all of a sudden the stadium's alive. Everybody's buzzing, everybody's thinking, okay, we can win this game now. We can go on and win this and really dominate, and we did that in the second half. Ange made the change. Look, I know, I am always in favour of sort of getting behind the manager. I've been Ange in this entire time. A lot of people aren't particularly fans of him at the moment. I am sticking by him, and he made the change at half-time today that, in my opinion, made the difference for the rest of the match. He took James Maddison off, and look, I don't think James Maddison particularly had a bad game, but we were leaning maybe a bit too much offensively with Basuma and then Kulusevski and Maddison both in front of him. It didn't really feel like we had the right balance in midfield. We needed to perhaps bring in someone that could play a bit deeper. I was actually expecting Rodrigo Bentancur to come onto the pitch, but Ange went with Pat Matasar, brought him on, and to be fair to the bloke, he changed the game. He completely changed the game. We go out in that second half and we score 3 goals in 7 minutes, blow them away completely. So nice to see Sonny back from his injury, back in the team, back on the score sheet. Amazing stuff. He was unlucky. Obviously, the own goal won't count towards his, but brilliant play from him to start the move off that lovely outside of the boot pass to Kulusevski. Drives, lays it back off to Son, and his sort of touch is just, it's a little bit unlucky, and it goes in off of the defender. But then he beats Todibo so well, so comfortable in that goal that actually counted towards him. It's been really fun to just sort of absorb everything afterwards. I'm seeing West Ham fans all over social media completely lose their heads. I think a lot of them have given up on their manager already, and there's talks of David Moyes coming back to the club for a 3rd time. How crazy is that? That is just insane. But look, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think West Ham have really been great all season. They lack something. I'm not sure Lopetegui's the best manager in the world. I don't think he particularly has a plan. They spent a lot of money in the summer, West Ham. They brought in some good players and they've got a good squad. But I just don't think he knows how to use it. So it's funny. It's funny. And for me, I just want to focus on Spurs today. A huge, huge win. The most important thing was bouncing back after that Brighton defeat. It is essentially just the fact that Ange didn't really get the chance to lay into his players after that Brighton collapse, that he had to send them all off for international break. And he said ahead in this week that he wanted to just explode when everybody got back. And it looks like he did that. I think Sonny said after the game that he wasn't happy with how they played, particularly maybe defensively. We maybe rode our luck a little bit in the first half. And pretty much turned things on their head in the second half, and it could have been more. Sonny could have had a brace or a hat-trick on another day as well. Basuma, obviously, again, Sonny involved in that goal to go 2-1 up into a doggy who plays the pass back, redeemed himself for perhaps going to sleep for West Ham's goal, and then Basuma finishes it. Areola had a stinker for West Ham today, they just, look, without being horrible to the bloke, what are you expecting to do if you've got Mikel Antonio up front? I know Fulkrug's injured for them, and he probably would have started had he been fit. But what are you supposed to do with that guy up top, man? In a Premier League away against a top 6 Premier League team, it's just not going to work, is it? But I thought everyone was excellent today. Vicario, really, really good. Udogie, after conceding that goal, woke up a bit, and his offensive work today was really, really brilliant, I thought. Some of the runs he was making were incredibly intelligent and really good at creating those spaces. Van de Ven, we say this every week and after every win, that the Van de Ven is huge, and he's finally getting the recognition now that I think he deserves in terms of being picked for the Dutch national team and playing really well for them. Pedro Porro as well, getting minutes for Spain. I know it's probably because Carvajal's out, but people recognising his quality and talent. Romero, I think, had a solid game as well today, which was nice to see. I was surprised to see Yves Bissouma in the starting lineup, but he came back into the squad and he played really, really well. So we cannot complain at that, despite Bentancur being one of our best players over the last few weeks. No problems with Bissouma being that player to come in and rotate with Bentancur. I think was away. Actually, I'm not sure he was away of international duty because I think he's banned. But and then the front line, Sonny coming back into the team, I thought he had a really, really bright game. I think Ange protected him a little bit, bringing him off. I think it was like 65-ish minutes into the game. And then Kulusevski, man. I'm thinking I've got a drawing of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium above my desk where I'm recording here, and I'm thinking I just get a big Sweden flag to hang above it, because that guy is absolutely incredible. He is by far and away Tottenham's best player at the moment. He works so hard, incredibly hard. He was fantastic for Sweden again during the international break. He was brilliant for Tottenham today. Got his goal. I think he got an assist as well. Just an elite player. I'm going to say it, an elite player is Dejan Kulusevski, and long may it continue. Let him drive us forward. Let him take us to that next level. And then, Solanke up top. His pressing, really, I was really impressed with him. I know he didn't get on the score sheet today, but I was really impressed with Solanke. Once again, his pressing is fantastic. His hold-up play and his link-up play today was the best I've seen from him since he arrived. Sometimes his touches have been a bit heavy and he struggled to hold the ball up, but I think that he actually did that really, really well against West Ham today, and he played some fantastic balls as well. So really, really happy to see that. Brennan Johnson, again, he could have scored. He could have scored 2 or 3 and he could have extended that scoring streak. Unfortunately, it's come to an end. What is it, like 6 or 7 games in a row? But the main thing is, Tottenham get back to winning ways. That is 6 wins in the last 7 matches, by the way. I think everybody lost a little bit of perspective from the Brighton game because it was just such a painful watch in the second half. A really, really painful watch in the second half. And for me, the problem The problem was more the players than the manager in that, because they just stopped. They gave up. Look, they were talking about it on the radio earlier in the day before the West Ham game. The players at 2-0, they're thinking, yeah, we've played really well here. We're 2-0 up. This game's pretty much over. We're going to go away on the international break, going to see loads of our friends and family. And they just stepped off the gas. I think the running stats went down by like 20% in the second half. And it just... If you're going to do that in a Premier League game, you're going to get punished for it. And rightfully, Brighton punished us for it. But there was no such thing in this game against West Ham. And it's so brilliant because we've had some pretty crappy results against them over the last few years, at our place in particular. So to really put out a statement win against them, it makes me so, so happy. And to do it in the early kickoff on the Saturday makes the entire weekend so much better. I am recording this having just got back from work on the Saturday. I watched the game, went to work, come back. Arsenal have lost this game against Bournemouth unless something incredibly, massively insane happens. Saliba's been sent off. They're 2-0 down. Just amazing. And yeah, it's just been a fantastic weekend. I get to go to the NFL tomorrow on Sunday as well to watch my New England Patriots here for the first time since like 2012 or something. So, you know, it's just nice to be happy. It's nice to be happy about Tottenham. It's nice to be happy about the football. And this was my reaction to our 4-1 win against West Ham. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the game today. Who was your standout performer? Do you think Maddison was harshly taken off? Or do you think it was the right decision? And do you feel like he should start the next game? Let me know what you think in the comments. And I really, really hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, I'm back from holiday now, so the content is coming more regularly. I feel more refreshed. I'm ready to go again. And we move on. We move on to the next fixture. So look out for some videos surrounding that in the next week or so. Hope you've enjoyed. Leave a like on this video if you did. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, come on, you Spurs.